Okay, well, this is a bad start. I'm probably supposed to mulligan this since I'm a combo deck. This is also awful, so I'm probably supposed to keep it. Definitely not keeping the A-Alrund's Epiphany. Okay, Deserted Beach is a land. Currently wish that it was a pathway instead of this, but here we are. Hey Chris, how do you feel about the perks former MPL/Rivals members are going to receive next season? Were you expecting less, more, or something similar to what they announced? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I was trying to keep my expectations to nothing. So, like, in that sense, it's more than I expected, I guess. Oh, this is very cool that I just get to get the teachings of the Archaics here. I was probably supposed to not discard another card to Undercity Plunder, huh? Come to think of it. Alright, well, this is currently entirely reasonable-ish. I would love to draw Velomachus. Yeah, no direct invite to the first PT is slightly harsh-ish. I agree with that. But, yeah, I don't know. Oh, Thrilling Discovery, I have to discard 2 cards? Yowzers. Okay, well, I guess that means I'm probably discarding Professor of Symbology and Planes? Okay. Well, we went up against the deck that is exactly the archetype that I wanted to play this deck against, because having the opponent discard us so that I can discard Velomachus was the entire game plan, but we have failed to draw Velomachus, which complicates this somewhat. I am required to Divine Purge here, which I guess means that's what I'm going to do. Otherwise, Reflection of Kiki Jiki Citystalker Connoisseur is a little too busted. Painful Bond is kind of a silly magic card, huh? So, unfortunately, we have, like, no outs here whatsoever, I don't believe. Well, let's get rid of Thrilling Discovery, and then decline. There's Velomachus. Unfortunately, that does not stop us from being dead. But hey, maybe the opponent forgets that they have a land that is relevant here, and then we have a chance. Opponent has failed to forget that. Okay. So they attack. I will hope I can hit a card that's relevant here. I don't believe that I have any relevant cards in the entire deck. Certainly not 2 Unexpected Windfalls. Alright, well that went terribly. Yeah, okay. So this deck still can't do anything if it doesn't draw Velomachus, I suppose. Well, we have Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I think I'm supposed to keep. I mean, I'm pretty sure having A-Alrund's Epiphany in the opening hand is just always going to be awful, but here we are. Okay, Divine Purge against Generous Visitor. Okay, Invoke Justice. That's a game plan. Kami of Transience. That's also Divine Purgeable. So we get to Thrilling Discovery and throw away A-Alrund's Epiphany, and then what? The trouble is I actually need the rest of these cards. I really wish I could just choose to throw away only 1 card and then draw 2. Let's just get rid of Plains. We'll draw cards. It'll be fine. Yeah! Alright, I guess I should feel rewarded that I threw away a land and then drew 3 lands. Rune of Sustenance. Alright, it's not the worst thing in the world. I wonder if I'm supposed to play Fable of the Mirrorbreaker first or Divine Purge first. I guess it's probably Divine Purge. Divine Purging after Fable of the Mirrorbreaker is not, like, wicked exciting. Economy of Transience, okay. Then a rune, alright. That's not particularly fast. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. Play a Crossroads on second red, which doesn't let me invoke Justice next turn, but that's what Fable of the Mirrorbreaker treasures are supposed to be for, I think. Probably. There's a whole lot of... Okay, no wait, those are Commune with Spirits, not Generous Visitors, so I'm not guaranteed to be dead next turn. I might still just need to Divine Purge here regardless. There's a Velomachus. Alright. But, oh, I can't actually cast Invoke Justice, though. I kind of messed that up. Huh. Unexpected Windfall and Invoke Justice. Unfortunately, not as good together as I would have liked. So Fable and Velomachus can definitely go away. I don't need either of them. Definitely going to be playing this land. I suspect I'm always going to be attacking with this 2/2. I don't really want to cast Invoke Justice for a Velomachus now. I do have Emeria's Call as a land next turn. Runeforge Champion probably doesn't kill me if I Divine Purge, but might kill me if I don't Divine Purge. I think I'm forced to Divine Purge then. I should have played Emeria's Call tapped. Now I'm going to have to pay 3 life. Windfalling into Purge doesn't really do anything. Because the treasures all go away no matter what. Because Purge kills them. Yeah, there's the Naturalist. I was afraid of that. So hopefully they can't do 9 damage here. They just messed up a lot. They were definitely supposed to put that rune on the Jukai Naturalist. Okay, well, they got very lucky, unfortunately. And now my mistake of not playing the Emeria's Call might kill me here. Maybe I draw an untapped white source to save me from it? Nope. Okay, well. That's a bummer. I wish I wasn't as bad at Magic as I am, but here we are. I believe my out here is to hit a 2-mana chump blocker. Okay. The A-Alrund's Epiphany stings, because that means we probably could have won if I hadn't messed up. Believe I'm probably supposed to snag Mascot Exhibition here. Okay, so if we get lucky and the opponent doesn't find a source of trample, then I can Invoke Justice for Velomachus, hope to hit an A-Alrund's Epiphany, and then maybe something good happens after that. Although the opponent's going to have a lot of health. And a source of trample. Which does mean we're dead if they don't mess up. We shall see if they mess up. Thus far, they have not messed up. Alright, well, that's a bummer. We will endeavor to not throw games like that in the future. So this hand seems like turbo garbage, so let's keep it and see where it goes. I kind of feel like I have to name white with this and then just hope to top deck a white source or a second red source for Unexpected Windfall. I don't think I can just name red with the turn 1 Crossroads. Okay. Probably shouldn't have played Deserted Beach, because I think I was supposed to foretell A-Alrund's Epiphany. Maybe I'm not supposed to foretell A-Alrund's Epiphany. Maybe I'm supposed to hold it to discard spells? Although maybe that's not true against clerics, which isn't going to have discard spells. I mean, I can discard it to my own discard spells, but at the rate we're going, I think I actually want to cast it, so I might as well get the birds. Oh, I don't have a second red source to discard this Velomachus to Windfall. I can discard it to Thrilling Discovery, though. Okay, well, hopefully the opponent doesn't have interaction for that Velomachus in the graveyard. Hopefully this Invoke Justice goes well, and then we win? Maybe? Well, time to find out. Oof, did not hit a time walk, but, you know, Divine Purge does feel pretty good here. So I'm going to assume that that's actually... okay. It's nice to know the backup plan still functions. I don't think this is keepable, so we're going to keep it and find out what happens. I assume I'm supposed to get Environmental Sciences to have one more red source for Windfall? Okay, we're playing against mono-red Bankbuster? I was scared, but now I'm less scared. I suppose this is the exact scenario where a second mountain would be meaningful. Am I supposed to attack my opponent? Putting them to 18 does make one time walk off of 9/9 Velomachus lethal. I'm assuming that doesn't matter, and I would rather block the Bankbuster, though. Okay, well, Chandra seems mostly irrelevant. Okay, cool. My Professor of Symbology successfully accomplished something. More white sources. Digging it. Then let's Thrilling Discovery and get rid of A-Alrund's and an Eiganjo, I think. Red sources. Radical. Okay. Then we get to play Professor of Symbology and get, I guess, probably Illuminate History, I think? This is about to get really interesting. And by interesting, I mean I'm not sure how my deck functions at this point. Not that it doesn't function, I just don't actually understand how it functions.
Give a toast? I'd love to.
Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay, okay. Well, I'm assuming I'm just supposed to Goldspan Dragon now to start pressuring that Chandra? Because this actually kind of forces them to trade off the Goblin Shaman, assuming they want to keep the Chandra around. And, like, I think not giving them a treasure is actively something I'm supposed to want. Goldspan Dragon is not the easiest card in the world for a red deck to kill. 4 mana is sort of a decent amount of mana. Or 4 toughness is sort of a decent amount of toughness, I suppose is the thing that I actually meant to say there.
Aw, you're looking a little...
Okay, so they have a Goldspan Dragon. I can live with that, I think. I shouldn't be dead yet, anyway. Not in a world with Molten Impact. That's true, that is probably a card people play now, huh? That's the new 2 mana 4 damage overkill on the second spell thing. Would be very rude of them to kill the Goldspan Dragon. Dragon's Fire. It's also rude. I don't even get a treasure off of that? Gross. Alright, well, let's go with Sundown Pass. Draw some cards. Yuck. Icky, nasty, gross. I mean, I could just foretell the A-Alrund's Epiphany, I suppose. Is that, like, something that I'm supposed to consider doing? Or am I just supposed to Thrilling Discovery? I'm probably supposed to foretell A-Alrund's Epiphany, I think? Foretelling A-Alrund's Epiphany is sort of like digging. It's...
Come on, Chandra. Think of something good.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like doing that. How's the invoking going? So far, not stellar. We seem to have had a noticeable problem with deck doesn't function if it doesn't draw combo pieces. Which is not usually how I like my decks to function. I am happy the opponent decided to tap the Faceless Haven instead of the Shatter Skull Smashing. It does stop me from taking an extra 3 points of damage here. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and Thrilling Discovery. Hit a blue source. I suppose I could choose not to play that blue source this turn. And then just see if the opponent can't kill me next turn? I guess I do kind of like the idea of seeing if my opponent can't kill me next turn. Well, there's Invoke, I guess. So A-Alrund's Epiphany, Emeria's Call. I could, like, almost do that? So wait, I can invoke Goldspan, which is like 10 damage? I assume I'm supposed to not take that. Wait, am I just supposed to invoke Justice Goldspan Dragon now? And then just, like, not attack with it? I guess? Huh. Yeah, alright. Let's see if that, like, works, I guess. I mean, this is like a okay blocker. Not attacking still leaves us open to burn spell and haste copy Goldspan. Well, I mean, they can copy Goldspan, I can block Goldspan, and then they can use a burn spell to kill Goldspan alongside trading with Goldspan. But, I mean, I do get a 2-for-1 that way.
Just improvise.
Which is, like, kind of okay. Plarg? What does Plarg do? Discard a card, draw a card on a 2-drop? Maybe? I think that... I don't know if that's better or worse than the Learn package. Oh, you just have enough mana to do that twice? But you don't have 2 Dragon's Fires, right? Didn't they only have 1? Yeah, they only have 1. Okay. Why did we Spike Field the Goldspan? What am I missing here? I guess they stopped me from blocking. But I'm going to just take 8. They should have Spike Fielded my face. The Spike Field on the Goldspan doesn't change anything. Oh, I guess it exiles it if I block. Oh, they get 2 more mana as well. Maybe that changes something. Ugh. They have instant speed, 3 mana, 3 damage? No, they had Dragon's Fire. Alright, so that just didn't do anything. Okay. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker isn't really anything. We get Boides. Well, alright. A-Alrund's Epiphany is interesting. In an I sort of have lethal next turn sense. Could have attacked with the birds, but I'd much rather just have indestructible blockers. No, that means I don't have lethal next turn.
We should all follow
And
our
their gold
hearts.
span's pretty annoying. We're casting a lot of expensive spells against a deck that's extremely slow, and we're still not doing anything because we haven't found a Velomachus, which feels pretty inherently like a bad sign. Kinda feel like I just have to trade here and hope to find something. Velomachus, I suppose, that I just hardcast? Would be the ideal. Oh, goodness, 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 goodness gracious. The trouble is I've drawn so many A-Alrund's Epiphanies that my Velomachuses off Invoke aren't actually likely to even be very good now. I don't think this needs more removal, because we do have 4 board wipes. It's kind of awkward that we haven't drawn any, but I don't think we can cut any of the stuff we have drawn for removal. I think we're getting rid of Fable here. Currently, we're just dead on board. Drawing lands does not change us being dead on board. I don't believe Illuminate History has any chance of changing us being dead on board. But let's see what happens, I guess. It's wild that I'm 30 cards through my deck and I still haven't found a Velomachus to put in the graveyard for Invoke Justice.
Come on, Chandra. Think of something good.
Alright, well, the opponent put Bloodthirsty Adversary in their deck, so it's time to find out if they realize why it's in their deck. Because they can, I think, just kill us by making a copy of Bloodthirsty Adversary and removing a bunch of blockers. That ought to just be lethal. That is, in fact, just lethal. And do they remember to attack with everything? They do. Alright. Yeah, definitely running into the problem that this deck doesn't seem to function without Velomachus. Found the Faithful Mendings filter so much better. I mean, I don't think Faithful Mending or Thrilling Discovery filter well at all. The problem isn't really filtering, because you can't build a deck to be capable of filtering deeper than your top 30 without tutors. Like, drawing 5 more cards earlier wouldn't have mattered in that game. Alright, well, here's an idea. This is turn 5 Velomachus. We just have to not die by then. It's unclear whether I would prefer to Divine Purge on 3 or Fable on 3. Fable on 4 gets us a discard outlet for the Velomachus anyway. I feel like at this point I now probably want to Divine Purge on 3. That is more blood tokens than I'm comfortable with the opponent having. Okay. I feel pretty comfortable this game, I think. Now I can just Unexpected Windfall discarding Velomachus. Should work out pretty much the same way. And we have enough white sources to cast Invoke Justice. I will ironically have enough blue sources to hardcast any top-decked Time Walks as well. Although I guess I'll have the Unexpected Windfall triggers, or treasures, for that regardless. That's a lot of justice. Alright, deck. Show me that this is worthwhile. I wonder if I should have used the treasure for this, in case the Velomachus whiffs on the Time Walk, but hits a board wipe. Nope. Hit the Time Walk. Alright, we made it! It's funny that we went through so much more effort to set that up than the Mindlink mech combos, and it still doesn't actually feel as good as the Mindlink mech combos. Huh. Oh, that's actually really disappointing. I thought that was going to feel better than it did. Maybe I've just been beaten down. Alright, well, we get to turn 2 Professor, discard Velomachus. Hope that's good enough to do something. Scry, Windfall. Okay, I'm assuming that's probably correct. Then I can Professor to tutor for something and not need to actually pitch the Velomachus to the Professor? Unless, wait, do I actually want to pitch the Velomachus to the Professor? I don't know. So I could get Environmental Sciences. I could get Mascot Exhibition, I suppose. I could technically get Teachings. Maybe I'm actually supposed to get Teachings. I don't know. My opponent's playing blue-white. That could be hypothetically correct. Or something. So I can't play Crossroads on blue, because then I can't Windfall next turn. I was sort of expecting the opponent to Wandering Emperor there. Okay, I mean, I guess I'm okay with the opponent doing nothing. If the opponent's doing nothing, I think that I actually just want to wait. Oh, we top deck Invoke Justice to make me feel sad. But, like, opponent probably has interaction, least of which is probably Jawara Disruption. So, like, I could wait one turn before playing Windfall. And now if they counter the Windfall, they're less likely to be able to counter the Invoke Justice. So, like, I guess that would have been true last turn as well. Oh, okay. What did you foretell, opponent? Please counter this Windfall, please counter this Windfall, please counter this Windfall, please counter this Windfall. They didn't counter the Windfall. Incredibly rude. Alright, well, I mean, they're gonna saw it coming the Velomachus, which I'm not really okay with. So, new plan. Let's not Velomachus. Oh, I should have Fabled pre-combat. Then if they countered the Fable, I could have Invoked Justice. mistakes. I've made a few. Blue, 3, 6, 7. Okay, so I can untap here and play Teachings of the Archaic. Whee! Card draw! Threats! It's a little bit of everything! Divine Purge. Okay, but does the opponent have a card draw? They don't have a card draw! Okay, let's see. I don't really want this Divine Purge, and I don't really need this extra land. Invoke Justice on Velomachus. I would like to look cards deep for a time walk so that I can win the game. Unsummon. That's just deeply rude, opponent. Goodness gracious. Alright, Crossroads and Velomachus go away. I would have hit the time walk, opponent! How come you are so mean? Alright, land drop. Attempt to bring back Velomachus. Success! Attempt to resolve attacking. Disappointing. But they don't get to learn. Haha, joke's on you, opponent. I mean, I am still somehow actually out card advantaging them, which is a weird thing to say. Do I even want to cast Velomachus? I don't think that I do. Here's an interesting question. Is Perpetual a copyable attribute? I don't actually know. It is not. Neat. Educational. Go to combat. Swing. Environmental Sciences for a land drop. Emperor probably would fit this deck just as an additional, you know, win con. It does feel like the deck needs more things to do when it doesn't find Velomachus, and that would probably fit the bill. Let's see... Well, I think I can get rid of Velomachus here. Boomscar. No. Okay, well. How about I attempt to play Velomachus? Does that resolve? Disappointing. What if I Unexpected Windfall, getting rid of Divine Purge? What if I cast Professor of Symbology? And wind and got a... How about a mascot exhibition? Why not? I mean, I kind of don't want to miss land drops, but also, like, I kind of don't want to get rid of a land that could be a threat at some point. Alright, how about I just play a mascot exhibition then and foretell an A-Alrund's Epiphany? I'd rather mascot exhibition get countered than A-Alrund's Epiphany, I think. I mean, my opponent's life total is low enough that just beating them down with birds is becoming a real possibility. Let's try to just keep going wide for the time being. Okay. You are allowed to make your sorceries as cheap as you would like them to be. Yeah, Wandering Emperor was a little bit of something that I didn't want to see. Alright, opponent goes wide with Samurai. I wonder if I'm supposed to Unexpected Windfall here just for developing the treasure, even though Emeria's Call isn't really a card I want to get rid of.
How we greet our enemies.
Oh. It does make syncopates on my A-Alrund's Epiphanies weaker. 3, 6. Yeah, so in fact they can't syncopate this. And if they do counter this, I get to shock Emeria's Call, play A-Alrund's Epiphany, play Goldspan Dragon. This is not quite where I thought the backup game plan was going to take us, but we have one. The good old 6 damage burn spells in blue. So stupid. I enjoyed that way more than comboing off the normal way. Okay, you know what? Drawing lands makes me feel slightly more confident in this hand. I think I'm supposed to get Environmental Sciences here. Maybe? Only floor region. Okay, I can kind of live with that. Am I supposed to be getting aggressive against a green deck? I don't think so, but I'm going to do it anyway even though it's wrong. Seeka's Chariot, but nerfed. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to discard Velomachus and an A-Alrund's Epiphany. I'm quite confident in that. I can play Wandering Emperor and make something a 3/3, which doesn't actually attack through Seeka's Chariot very well. So that's not the plan. I guess that means we pass? Invoke the Ancients. Gross. So then they crew with the kitty. Yeah, they decide not to attack with the kitty. That makes me sad. Alright, well, I assume that I am supposed to get rid of the chariot.
But I'm going to end.
Actually, correction. I assume I'm supposed to trade the Professor of Symbology with the chariot.
Guards, to me.
Do I want to get rid of this A-Alrund's Epiphany? I guess I probably have to. Now, admittedly, Divine Purge is pretty cool. I feel like I like Divine Purge a lot here. I forgot there was a reason that I thought this deck could just accidentally win sometimes. And it was that Divine Purge is a completely functional backup plan. Emeria's Call. I mean, I guess that's actually probably decent against mono green, huh?
We must protect the people.
Okay, I guess my game plan is to just play Emeria's Call for the rest of forever. I don't know if that's a bad game plan, or a good one.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Oh no, my Fable of the Mirrorbreaker enters the battlefield tapped. Somebody else is going to need to evaluate how this game has proceeded to me, for me, because I don't have any clue what I'm supposed to take away from this. Yep. Alright, well that means my Wandering Emperor is dead. Alas. Probably not supposed to block here on account of it accomplishing nothing except throwing away my creature.
I'll be back.
Gnarled Professor. Oh no. Opponent's got a 7-drop and everything. Yowzas. I assume I'm probably supposed to get rid of Professor of Symbology. Well, I didn't really want Professor of Symbology, so I guess I'm happy. Do I want an indestructible blocker? No, not really against tramplers. So I guess I'll take the treasure. And there's not a lot of point in blocking. Well, there is a point in blocking, actually. The opponent has a life total that changes if they don't block, so that seems like a good reason for them to block. Angel down. Probably worth blocking the Old Growth Troll here, right? I think so. I mean, they're going to make a 4/4 out of it, which sort of sucks, but eh. Unfortunately, Fable of the Mirrorbreaker is going to re-enter the battlefield tapped, so I'm not going to have 2 indestructible 4/4s. Oh, okay. Seems kind of weird of them to use that rather than just saving it and getting the 4/4 token, but okay. I feel like I'm definitely supposed to learn and get Mascot Exhibition here, probably. I don't know whether I'm supposed to cast Emeria's Call or Mascot Exhibition first. Probably supposed to cast Mascot Exhibition first, actually. Could attack for 2 to make a treasure here. Does that impact my blocks at all anyway? I don't believe so. Oh, this treasure actually is meaningful, because it lets me hold up Reflection of Kiki-Jiki activation while playing Emeria's Call next turn. What lessons can the Professor pull from the sideboard? That is... 2 Environmental Sciences, 2 Mascot Exhibitions, 1 Teachings of the Archaic, 1 Start from Scratch, 1 Illuminate History. You can block this, and then I can probably block like this and be okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. If the opponent wants to play any mana interaction here whatsoever, they need to commit to not playing Mascot Exhibition, up to and including if they want to activate the Old Growth Troll. So I think just trading off there is highly desirable for me. And now we get to do Reflections of Kiki-Jiki with Professor of Symbology nonsense, and that's probably going to be fun. Invoke the Ancients. Oh, okay, and a 4/4. Yeah, that does make creatures, doesn't it? Oh. I already had 8 lands. I thought I had 7. Well, this attack last turn didn't really accomplish anything one way or the other. I mean, the opponent really can't attack regardless here. No, they kind of can, because if they draw a fight spell for a 4/4. Yeah. So I think I don't attack with this 2/2. I did have enough mana to hold it up without the treasure. The thing that I missed was that I had more mana than I thought I had. Oh wait, hold on. This is indestructible, so I don't actually want to do this now. So, pop, 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 pop. Is that ideal? I don't see a way around that. But I can take a lot less damage than this, can't I? I could choose to take 0 damage instead of 2 damage. I guess I could have made a copy of an angel and actually cleared their board. No, I still wouldn't have been able to clear their board. Yeah, that wouldn't have made a difference at all. Yeah, I assume I'm supposed to kill the 4/5s rather than just take 0 damage. Ooh, okay, they messed up though. Now they're not actually killing this other angel because they did damage to Kiki-Jiki first, who is thankfully indestructible. Yep, alright, so we make a copy of Professor of Symbology. We go and get a mascot exhibition. I should have done it at the end of turn, although it wouldn't have really mattered. Mascot exhibition, make copies of stuff. Ooh. I also get to play a Professor of Symbology, which of these is actually worth getting? I guess Illuminate History, probably? Okay. Reflections of Kiki-Jiki, Professor of Symbology is technically a combo. Yay! Alright, that was an entertaining game to win. I'm satisfied by that one. Okay, well, this isn't like anything, but at least it's not anything on a reasonable time scale. I think I just want to play my lands. 4th land for Wandering Emperor seems relevant. No, Valky, come back and give me my Professor of Symbology. I needed a 2-drop. What am I supposed to do now? I guess the good news is they can pay 2 mana to turn their Valky into a Goblin Piker, which is not a significant improvement. Okay, Divine Purge. There we go. It's like a real magic card. It's actually somewhat useful in this position. Graveyard Trespasser is a card I don't have to care about. I mean, it does make Invoke Justice a lot weaker, but thankfully we have Divine Purge for it in the short run. Alright, let's just draw Velomachus. That's the game plan. Opponent's on the play, so Crossroads does not let them Citystalker Connoisseur me, which would be painful. Okay, let's play this Mountain so that we can play Invoke Justice next turn, or Unexpected Windfall this turn. I suspect I'm probably supposed to Wandering Emperor here and not cast the Windfall. Invoke Despair. So I could Wandering Emperor here, and that way they only draw 1 card. Is that in any world correct, or am I just supposed to take 6 and let them draw 3? I don't want my opponent to draw cards.
I've learned much during my travels. Guards, to me.
I mean, theoretically, the Invoke Justices can just get Wandering Emperors now, I guess. Which doesn't really give me the ability to put +1/+1 counters on anything, which is a little lame, but, well, I mean, it's still, like, sort of okay. It's too bad I can't activate Wandering Emperor to make a 2/2 in the middle of Invoke Justice resolving. Gross. Why can I not? Oh, this is a sorcery. Oh, that's worse than I thought it was. Okay, well, opponent gets to draw a bunch of cards. I hate it. Alright, let's ditch the Emeria's Call so we still have a discard outlet in case we draw Velomachus. Or we could draw nothing. So Professor of Symbology goes and grabs Teachings, then we play the Beach. Then we invoke the Justice and play the Wandering Emperor. And put a bunch of counters on Professor of Symbology, and then we make a creature. Okay, I mean, like, that's kind of okay. My life total is a tiny bit of a concern, but the board state's decent at least. I think if the opponent doesn't interact with our Professor of Symbology, we're oddly close to lethal if we draw a Time Walk. The thought process of making Professor a 7/6 to play around hook. I mean, if my opponent wants to spend 7 mana to kill my board and not answer Wandering Emperor, I think I'm probably okay with that. I feel like that's fine. Two more lands until our opponent can play Tybalt, which I do not love. Power word kill for the Professor of Symbology. Okay. Believe I probably want to discard the Needleverge Pathway here. There's a Velomachus. So that's certainly cool. We do miss the land drop, but I think that's okay. Do I want a Thrilling Discovery discarding Velomachus? No, because the opponent has Graveyard Trespasser in hand. So that would be, well, pseudo in hand. So that would be a mistake. Plus, not discarding the Velomachus protects us from Citystalker Connoisseur here. So with a land drop and an attack with the 2/2, they can play Tybalt this turn. Luckily, I think we don't really care about our opponent playing Tybalt. Invoke Despair. That should be pretty good for me. As long as they don't play some sort of hand-hate spell that hits Invoke Justice. Can I play this Wandering Emperor here? I would still have enough mana to Thrilling Discovery and Invoke Justice if I do that. Right? Yes. I think that's probably correct. I mean, I guess I could get blown out if they abrade my treasured token, but I don't expect that to be a line they are willing to take.
Remember your training.
Oh, I guess I could be in trouble if they Valky me here and take the Velomachus in a way that I can't interact with. Luckily, that does not happen. Alright, Thrilling Discovery. Get rid of Velomachus and a land. Good news, Power Word Kill. Notoriously bad at targeting Velomachuses. Do I want to hold on to Eiganjo? Can I play you untapped? I can. Alright, and me. I think I want 2 counters on Velomachus and 2 counters on the other token. I'm probably going to downtick Wandering Emperor here. I don't think upticking makes a difference. No. Oh, did that make a difference? 6, 10, 17. No, it was 1 short either way. No, that was lethal because I could have gotten another Wandering Emperor if I had upticked. Oh. Drats and darnits. Well, I'm probably still supposed to get Professor of Symbology. Five, 6, 7. Then I think we just go and get Dark from scratch, actually, because that can go face. And our opponent's life total is currently pretty low. Painful Bond is a lot more painful when you have 2 life.
To me.
So that bit's cool. They could have Hogger, but I think they only had 3 mana up there. And thankfully we do have a mountain. Which is not the basic that I would have expected to save us from Hogger, but here we are. Alright, 4 lethal threats, opponent. And if you play anything that causes you to lose a life, I have start from scratch. I also have another Velomachus. I also have a land that can turn into a flyer. Yay! We got there! We somehow actually comboed against the Graveyard Hate. Whee! Retrieve socks. What do you think, buddy? You want to come over here? You look very Spartan, curled up on your little corner of the bed with no blanket for once. Goodness gracious. We do have Velomachus on 5. I assume I'm probably not supposed to foretell A-Alrund's Epiphany because I can discard it to Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. Opponent's deck does not look likely to have Graveyard Hate for Velomachus. That's a good sign. Oh, take a look at the decklist. Okay, help me remember when this game is about to end, and I will do that. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop. And because we actually have the... Oh, wait, no. Invoke Justice takes 4 white, not 3 white. I can learn how this deck works, even if I have to do so slowly. That was rude. Well, shoot. Guess I'm just willing to get rid of lands to try to find a land drop. We have failed. Why Symbology? Because it's a mana fixer, it's something to do on 2 that blocks, and it is a discard outlet for Velomachus in a pinch. It also combos with Reflections of Kiki Jiki to be a card advantage engine, which is specifically stronger because we're playing it in best of 1. Okay, Renin 7's mildly annoying, but not yet the end of the world. Time walk? Time walk! Yay! We did it! Woo! Even if it was a turn late. Excitement! I mean, this hand is pretty bad, but also it's got Divine Purge and 2 white sources, so it couldn't be that bad, right? Also, I don't think that I'm supposed to throw away hands with Velomachus. Like, almost ever. I mean, that said, this hand would be better if we drew lands, but we have plenty of draw steps to draw lands. Sweet! I don't know why I was worried. Hand was perfect, apparently. I guess. I appreciate our opponent conceding because presumably they were stuck on 2 lands, when I am also stuck on 2 lands. Well, same logic applies. Probably not supposed to mulligan hands that have Velomachus. This feels really garbage, because I think I need to play Forsaken Crossroads on white, but that does not give me any red sources. I don't think I can afford the second Divine Purge, especially when I've already got Wandering Emperor as the follow-up to Divine Purge number 1. Taking some damage. Got a thrilling discovery. It'll be good if we find a red source. Sanguine Brushstroke is a card I'm extremely happy to see my opponent not having access to. Hey, red source. Sweet. So I could Divine Purge here. Am I supposed to want to? Tempting, but why Divine Purge this turn when I can Divine Purge next turn instead? Invoke Justice. I dig it. Burn Down the House feels good off Velomachus when the opponent is board state. Burn Down the House is fine. I think there's not really enough room for it. Divine Purge kind of replaces it in my mind. But there are probably time periods where it's solidish. I think that Burn Down the House was a totally reasonable card to play with Velomachus in lists that weren't putting Velomachus into play with Invoke Justice, but that Time Walk is just kind of stronger once you're allowed to cast Time Walk. I'm loving the mute button on the microphone that I can press quickly instead of having to try to do it with my mouse. I feel like I'm probably just supposed to Divine Purge to clear up all the blood tokens and nonsense that is currently staring me down. Oh, sweet. Experimental Synthesizers will leave the battlefield trigger, huh? Not just when it dies. So I got to mill one extra card from my opponent's deck. Radical. Look at all these experimental synthesizers not doing anything. It's delightful. Alright, let's hit a Time Walk and win the game! We hit a Time Walk! What? You're only going to be at 2 so far, opponent. It's fine. It's probably fine. Alright, this doesn't seem good, but I don't see a reason to let that stop me from keeping a hand of magic. I mean, Professor of Symbology, Divine Purge, Wandering Emperor is definitely sort of a curve. What cards am I supposed to grab here? And I guess just Teachings of the Archaic, right? I'm sure we'll be able to use that eventually. Yeah, look at how many cards our opponent's drawing. Heck yeah. I'm gonna get super ways to use this Teachings of the Archaic, for sure, for sure. Reduce to memory. Okay, opponent's on black-white nonsense? I feel inherently favored against black-white nonsense. I mean, unless they have, like, instant speed removal that hits Velomachus, but how likely is that? Okay, so we're gonna have the mana necessary to cast Invoke Justice, though perhaps not the Velomachus to Invoke Justice with? Upon? Come to think of it, why is the concept of justice tied to reanimation? I suppose that's not inherently unfitting. I can probably just get rid of Teachings of the Archaic at this point. If they triple block my little goblin, I can Wandering Emperor to clear their board somewhat aggressively. They don't go for it, huh? Bummer. The Height of the Eye Tyrant's going to make this a little awkward. I'm going to have to be able to discard Velomachus in the same turn that I reanimate it. I believe it's probably correct to just make a 2/2 here for the Wandering Emperor.
I am the Emperor of Kamigawa, and I will protect my people.
Banishing Verse, missing Velomachus is nice. Yeah, yeah.
People.
So if instant speed removal, it's basically just Infernal Grasp if they happen to be playing that, and that's not a very typical card to play. Alright, Thrilling Discovery is a discard outlet for when we find Velomachus, sooner or later. I think I'm probably just playing A-Alrund's Epiphany here. I should have attacked with Professor of Symbology. I don't know why I didn't. Deadly Dispute. Okay. How close am I to lethal? I don't think particularly close. I'm a little scared of Meathook Massacre. Is why I'm going to wind up casting this A-Alrund's Epiphany instead of foretelling it.
Let your blade do the talking.
Okay. No complaints about Windfall.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Let's make a copy of the Professor. Get some card advantage. Mascot Exhibition seems probably fine. Am I okay discarding this land? I'm probably okay discarding this land. I wonder if I should have invoked Justice to try to push through lethal there. I don't think against 4 mana held up that was the correct move, though. Alright, let's go ahead and Windfall, discarding the land. Yeah, we found a land. Is it fair to say that Fable of the Mirrorbreaker is the strongest card from the set? I would say that in a vacuum that's probably true. Or rather, I guess the absence of a vacuum. In the presence of many, 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 many synergies, yeah, Fable of the Mirrorbreaker seems like the strongest card. Although it's hard to rate the power level like on a scale of 1 to 10. Of stuff like the legendary lands. Oh, there we go. That should do it, right? I believe that ought to be lethal. Ooh, I don't even need to hit anything off this Velomachus. That's just good old-fashioned damage lethal. This is probably the worst possible hand I'd be okay with keeping. But, like, it's got Windfall and it's got Divine Purge. Yeah, it doesn't have any combo pieces, but, like, Divine Purge is a combo piece, right? Oh. Well, this isn't really anything. But at least it's a lot of, it's... I don't know what it is. Opponent foretelling a bunch of stuff in Esper. Okay. That bodes poorly for my resolving Unexpected Windfalls plan. Four-color... Otherworldly Gaze? Okay. Suddenly I suspect I'm probably going to be a lot better at resolving Unexpected Windfall than I was thinking a second ago. Why Thrilling instead of Mending, just because the blue is annoying? Yeah. I also think Thrilling is just kind of probably better than Mending. Maybe not. I don't know. I kind of hate mending being card disadvantage. But for clarity, I'm also a person who thinks that Faithless Looting is a bad card that I don't want to play. Alrighty, opponent. You have counterspells in there? 4-color play counterspells would be a truly, truly wild endeavor. But one I would be happy to see. Impressed if nothing else. Yowzas. Alright. No Invoke yet. One day. Opponent seems a little constrained on blue mana, which is pretty understandable. Alright, they are in fact on Invoke Justice. A deeply respectable Brave mana base. Okay, well, that's an All-Run's Epiphany. I mean, I guess I'm gonna get a Mascot Exhibition now. And we foretell All-Run's Epiphany. I kind of got the suspicion now suddenly that my opponent's foretold cards have a pretty high likelihood of being All-Run's Epiphanies. I'm not sure exactly what to make of that. Still no Velomachus in the opponent's yard. We do have a Velomachus in ours, and that's... was a game of Magic. Alright, well, I was sort of thinking that was going to be the last one, but now I feel obligated to do another one, because if I can't explain anything that happens in a game of Magic, I don't think that it counts. So I'm pretty sure this isn't a good hand, but I see no reason to allow that to stop me from keeping it. Don't think I need a second Invoke Justice, probably. Red-black stuff. So Emeria's Call is now protecting us from Citystalker hitting our Invoke Justice, which I think means I snag Illuminate History, probably? Maybe? I don't know. Painful Bond? No! Opponent gets to draw cards! That's the worst. Red Source, Professor of Symbology. Guess now we get Teachings of the Archaic, maybe? I mean, I don't see why I would do anything else. Might as well attack the opponent. Putting them to 18, like, kind of makes Velomachus attacking for 9 damage twice lethal. So, like, maybe that's correct to do. Opponent wants to Painful Bond again. That makes me want to pressure their life total even more. Oh, and then they shock. Does only kill land will gain life? It does. That really doesn't make sense. But here we are. Thrilling discovery, eh? Am I supposed to pressure the opponent? Probably a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm okay upticking Wandering Emperor here. They can't actually kill the Professor of Symbology and then attack the Wandering Emperor down if it's at 4 toughness. So I think that makes this fine. Like Occult Anvil, sacking Experimental Synthesizer does seem probably decent for them. Sanguine Brushstroke costs them 2 life. Alright, don't hate to see that. And then Voltage Surge to kill Wandering Emperor. Kind of sad.
Our swords will cross again.
Alright, well, still haven't found a Velomachus yet. Harsh. I assume I'm just supposed to Illuminate History and bin everything. There's our Velomachus. 1 mana short of actually discarding it and reanimating it in the same turn, though. That's pretty awkward. Alright, well, no attacks then. Purge would be cool. That's true. That's true. Unequal to Anvil, number the second one. Unequal to Anvil, number the third one. Yeah, alright, we're pretty close to dead. That's a little bit harsh. I think I need to find Divine Purge right now or I die. Wandering Emperor may be good enough. No, I actually can't get rid of this Emeria's Call, can I? Because I need it to protect me from Citystalker Connoisseur on Invoke Justice. Perfect. Oh, Divine Purge is lovely. Now the question is, do I attack with Professor of Symbology? I do not believe I am supposed to attack with Professor of Symbology because it gives the opponent more Blood Artist triggers, potentially. I also expect the Unequal to Anvil lists are probably not running Citystalker, but I'm willing to play around it. I don't think it costs me anything to play around. I mean, I guess it costs me a little bit of damage. Hey, love to see my opponent not drawing a Sanguine Brushstroke. That's purely delightful. I think, generally speaking, looting rather than learning, if I'm looting away something that isn't a Velomachus, isn't the best. Just because, like, I'd be digging towards Invoke Justice with 1 draw, but the stuff that I grabbed, like Illuminate History, was stuff that dug a lot deeper than just 1 card. And I have so many discard effects that, like, grabbing Teachings, even if I can't cast Teachings, is still a physical card that I get to discard for card advantage purposes. Boop. Boop. Alrighty, let's try to hit a Time Walk. We're foiling that a board wipe. Alright, board wipe's fine. Boop. Discard. Boop. Tiny bit of drain. Boop. Everything goes away. Opponent takes 9. Okay. Wonder how many removal spells they have that can kill a 9/9 dragon. I mean, Infernal Grasp would do it. 4 mana Blood Artist. That does not seem like a successful start. And a 4 mana Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay. Are you on blue? No! I wasn't going to be able to cast the A-Alrund's Epiphany. Well, I mean, maybe Velomachus was going to hit something useful. I'd love to be able to see the top 7 cards of my deck.